Hi, boys and girls. Here is the new Read Aloud book. It's a Cam Jansen book. We've read many of these in the past. So this one is called Cam Jansen, case number 6, The Mystery of the Babe Ruth Baseball. So when we get a new book, I always like to preview it. So we've read the title. We can see the picture on the front. And it's got a baseball that says Babe on it. And at the back, it usually tells us a little something about the story to get us hooked onto it so that we want to read it. So this one says, no mystery is too great for super sleuth Cam Jansen and her amazing photographic memory. Can Cam find the valuable baseball? Mysteries follow super sleuth Cam Jansen everywhere she goes, even to the community hobby show. Cam and Eric are checking out a sports memorabilia booth when a baseball autographed by Babe Ruth disappears. Can Cam catch the thief and recover Babe's ball? Let's see. Cam Jansen, The Mystery of the Babe Ruth Baseball. Chapter 1. It was a sunny afternoon at the end of May. Cam Jansen and her friend Eric Shelton were in the local community center. A hobby show was being held there, and Cam's parents had brought their collection of circus posters. Cam's father fixed his bow tie, and he looked at his watch and said, "It's almost time." "You should go now before you miss it," Cam's mother added. Cam and Eric rushed to the clock corner where there were more than 20 cuckoo clocks hanging on the wall. It was almost 4 o'clock. Cam and Eric waited. Then the noise started. When the minute hand of each clock reached 12, a tiny door opened and a small wooden bird popped out. "Cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo," it chirped. All of the birds seemed to be coming out of the clocks at once. People in the large room turned to look at the clocks. Many of them looked at their watches to see if it was really 4 o'clock. After the clock doors had closed, Cam and Eric looked at some of the other exhibits. They looked at needlepoint pillows, the Collins Coin Shop exhibit, a display of old toys, and at a large collection of baseball cards, yearbooks, and posters. "Look here," Eric said. "There's a whole section about Babe Ruth." There were a few Babe Ruth baseball cards, some photographs, a baseball that Babe had autographed, so that's when you write your name, and a large poster of Babe hitting a home run. The poster also listed his record as a player. "Test my memory," Cam told Eric. "Ask me anything about Babe Ruth's playing record." Cam looked carefully at all the numbers on the poster. Then she closed her eyes and said, "Click." Cam always said click when she wanted to remember something. People ask her why, and she points to her head and she tells them. "This is a mental camera. Just like any camera, it goes click when it takes a picture." "What's the babe's real name?" Eric asked. "George Herman Ruth," Cam said with her eyes still closed. "How many games did he play in 1924? 153. Cam has what people call a photographic memory. Her mind takes a picture of whatever she sees. When she wants to remember something, even a detail such as how many games Babe Ruth played in any one year, she just looks at the photograph and it's stored in her brain. Cam's real name is Jennifer Jansen, but when people found out about her amazing memory, they called her the Camera. Soon the Camera was shortened to Cam. "When did Babe Ruth get the most hits?" Eric asked. "In 1923, he had 205 hits that year, and he hit the most home runs in 1927. That's when he hit 60, Cam said with her eyes still closed. The owner of the collection was listening. He was an old man, and he had a bushy white mustache, and he was wearing a baseball cap. "You really know all about baseball," the old man said. Cam opened her eyes and said, No, I don't. I just remember everything on that poster. Then Eric told him, she has a mental camera. Why don't you test her? The old man picked up a box of baseball cards. Take a card. He called to the people around the exhibit. We'll see how good this girl's memory really is. Two people reached into the box and took out a card. Cam looked at the people, then she looked at the cards they were holding. She said, click, and closed her eyes. What card am I holding? A teenage boy wearing jeans and a bright green jacket asked. You're holding a Reggie Jackson baseball card. That's right, the boy said. Then he looked at his card and asked, how many doubles did he hit in 1977? 39. The girl with long brown hair holding a large gym bag asked, what card am I holding? When was the player born and what's his middle name? It's a Stan Musial card. He was born in 1920 on November 21st and his full name is Stanley Frank Musial. Amazing, the man said as Cam opened her eyes. He told her that his name was Henry Baker and he asked Cam and Eric if they could come back later. He wanted his wife to meet Cam and test her memory. Sure, I can come back, Cam told him. Oh, good. Now let me show you my collection. Mr. Baker showed Cam and Eric his favorite baseball cards. He showed them cards of Billy Martin, Fernando Valenzuela, Ron Guidry, and Satchel Paige. After that, he led Cam and Eric to the Babe Ruth corner. He showed them his Babe Ruth cards. Then Mr. Baker says, wait till you see this. I have a baseball that Babe Ruth signed for me almost 50 years ago. Mr. Baker turned around. The wooden stand where the baseball had rested was there, but the baseball was gone. Chapter 2. Someone stole my baseball, Mr. Baker cried out. A woman nearby looked at him. She laughed and said, ask your mommy to get you a new one. This wasn't just any baseball. Babe Ruth signed it. He gave it to me when I was a boy. It's very valuable. Mr. Baker ran from one person to the next, asking, have you seen my baseball? Did you see it rolling on the floor? Did you see someone take it? Eric looked on the floor for the ball, and Cam stood on a chair to watch what Mr. Baker was doing. He's so upset, Cam told Eric. He's stopping everyone. Most of them just think he's crazy. While Cam stood on the chair, she looked across the exhibit hall. She saw her parents with a large circus poster hanging behind them. She saw the wall of cuckoo clocks. Then she saw someone leaving the exhibit hall. It was a teenage boy wearing a bright green jacket. Cam closed her eyes and said, click. Let's go, Cam shouted to Eric. When she opened her eyes, someone's leaving the hall, and he might have the baseball. Cam ran between two women trading rare postage stamps, and she crawled under a few tables and almost knocked over a small boy looking at some old toys. Eric followed Cam. I'm sorry, excuse me, he said to the two women and the small boy as he hurried past. When Cam got to the door, she told the guard, you have to stop him. What are you talking about? The boy in the green jacket. He was there when a valuable baseball was stolen. The baseball was in the exhibit, and I'm sure that boy took it. That's why he's in such a rush to get out of here. Just because he's leaving the hall doesn't mean he's a thief, the guard said. The boy in the green jacket turned and saw Cam talking to the guard. He started to run. Did you see that? Eric said. He saw us talking to you and he started to run. The boy ran around the corner of the building and he was out of sight. We'll never catch him now, Cam said. Yes, we will, the guard said. He ran after the boy. Cam and Eric followed him. They ran to a crowded playground on the other side of the building. Two young children were playing catch with a baseball. Others were jumping rope or playing basketball. In one corner of the playground, some parents were watching very young children playing in a large sandbox or seesaws or on swings. The guard ran with Cam and Eric until they got to the other end of the playground. "He's gone," Cam said. "I don't see him anywhere." They looked down the street leading from the playground. A few children were walking there. A man was pushing a baby carriage, and there were some people waiting at the bus stop. But no one was wearing a bright green jacket. "There's another way out of the playground," the guard said. He turned and started to walk towards the other exit. Then he stopped. "Is that him?" the guard asked, pointing to a boy sitting on one of the park benches. Chapter 3. The boy sitting on the bench was wearing jeans and a bright green jacket. He was sitting between two children who were playing catch. "Yes, that's him," Cam said. Cam, Eric, and the guard ran to the bench. The boy looked up at them. He smiled and said, "Well, look who's here. It's the girl with the amazing memory and her quiet friend." "A valuable baseball is missing from one of the exhibits," the guard told the boy. "We're looking for it." "I'm sorry, but I don't know where it is." Cam looked at the boy. There was something in one of his jacket pockets. It was round and about the size of a baseball. Cam closed her eyes and said, "Click." She looked at the picture in her mind of the boy when he was holding the Reggie Jackson baseball card. Cam opened her eyes and said, "What's that in your pocket?" "I know it wasn't there before." "Oh, this?" the boy said and reached into his pocket. "You just didn't notice it." He took out a baseball and showed it to the guard. "This can't be the missing baseball," the guard said. "It's not signed by Babe Ruth. It just says Little League Slugger." The guard turned to Cam and Eric and said, "I don't know why I listened to you. Maybe there never was any Babe Ruth baseball. Now I have to get back to the exhibit hall. But first, I think you owe this boy an apology." Cam and Eric told the boy that they were sorry. The guard walked back to the exhibit hall, and Cam and Eric walked to a bench on the other side of the playground and sat down. Cam and Eric lived next door to each other. They were in the same 5th grade class, and they spent a lot of time together. Eric knew that Cam wouldn't give up searching for the mystery baseball so quickly. And she didn't. "Where did he get that ball? He didn't have it when we saw him at Mr. Baker's exhibit." "Maybe he found it," Eric said. "Maybe." Cam closed her eyes and she said, "Click." Then she added, "I'm trying to remember everything I saw at the exhibit." While Cam's eyes were closed, Eric turned around the playground and he saw a side door to the exhibit hall open. "Cam, look, isn't that the girl we saw at Mr. Baker's exhibit?" Cam opened her eyes. She looked at the girl leaving the exhibit hall, and the girl had long brown hair and was carrying a gym bag. "Yes, that's her. And there's enough room in that gym bag for 20 baseballs. I bet she left through the side door so no one would see her." The girl walked past Cam and Eric, but she didn't notice them. She walked out of the playground. At the corner, she crossed the street and walked towards the bus stop. "Come on," Cam said. "Let's follow her." Cam and Eric had to wait at the corner for the traffic light to turn green. As they waited, the girl got farther and farther ahead. When the light changed, Cam and Eric ran to get closer. The girl turned and saw them. She began running too. The girl held the gym bag with both hands as she ran. She ran past the bus stop. She turned and saw Cam and Eric behind her, and she looked scared. At the corner, the girl quickly looked to see if any cars were coming, then she ran across the street. "Let's rest," Cam said to Eric when they reached the corner. "No, we have to catch her. I'm sure she took the baseball. That's why she's running." Cam and Eric crossed the street and chased the girl. She was halfway down the block when her gym bag dropped from her hands. The girl tripped over the bag and fell. Cam and Eric caught up with the girl. She was lying on the sidewalk. The girl held her gym bag up and said, "Here, take what you want. Please just don't hurt me." We will continue reading next time. Hope you enjoyed the beginning of Cam Jansen, The Mystery of the Babe Ruth Baseball.